On our broadcast tonight, danger zone for the U.S. economy as this deadlock in Washington now threatens to pull it down. There are questions about the U.S. credit rating with just over a day to go now until the deadline. Outrage over the events that led a young girl to take her own life and who the local sheriff is blaming for her suicide. Tonight, a wake-up call for all parents. Act of bravery, caught in an ambush, captured on camera, an American hero who led his team through great danger has tonight received the highest military honor in the land. And making a difference, the great story of a coach who's teaching kids what teamwork really means. Nightly News begins now.
From NBC News World Headquarters in New York, this is NBC Nightly News with Brian Williams.
Good evening. This was to be expected as the hour nears, but a major credit agency has put the credit rating of the United States of America on a negative ratings watch. Just last night, we came on the air reporting that hopes were high for a deal. Things were moving. That collapsed today in a pile of noise and hurt feelings in Washington. The government has been shut down for 15 days. The debt ceiling deadline is just over 24 hours away now. The world is watching, and the financial markets are clearly watching, and profiles in courage are in short supply tonight in Washington. We have it all covered, beginning again tonight with the sorry state of affairs in Congress. Kelly O'Donnell has spent yet another day covering it all. Kelly, good evening.
Good evening, Brian. Confusion and paralysis are all I can say for sure right now. The House had planned to vote tonight on a bill to reopen the government and prevent that default, and then abruptly scrap that after Tea Party conservatives told Speaker Boehner they would not go along. Tonight, GOP aides say no decision on next steps, and senators tell me they don't know how this ends. How did we go from this just last night
I'm very optimistic,
to this today?
and it's nothing more than a blatant attack on bipartisanship.
Hopes deteriorated quickly for a Senate plan to reopen government and prevent a default on the country's good credit when House Republicans rejected a bipartisan Senate compromise. Mr. Speaker, can you guarantee to the American people Congress will not go past the deadline and push us into default?
Listen, I have made clear for months and months that the idea of default is wrong, and we shouldn't get anywhere close to it.
But time is running out fast, and the mood is so sour that clergy sang hymns as they roamed from one lawmaker's office to another, praying for a solution. Behind these closed doors, here in the basement of the Capitol, the GOP held its team meeting. And that's when Speaker Boehner found out he didn't have enough Republicans ready to make a deal. Tea Party conservatives would not back down, demanding changes to Obamacare.
Oh my gosh, we've lit up Obamacare for the whole nation. Look, the rollout was atrocious. This is a fundamentally flawed plan, and we have made it crystal clear to the American public that we stand with them on Obamacare.
Democrats huddled at the White House late today.
Make no mistake, the bill the Republicans are putting on the floor today is a decision to default.
Why the urgency? Congress sets a limit, known as the debt ceiling, for how much the government can borrow. The current limit is $16.7 trillion. Like ordinary Americans do with their household accounts, the Treasury Department can move money around to keep paying bills even after it reaches the limit. But the government loses the flexibility to do that at midnight tomorrow night. And if Congress fails to raise the ceiling by then, the country faces default. NBC News got an exclusive look at senators from both parties meeting quietly tonight looking for compromise. And John McCain begged Democrats to stop bashing Speaker Boehner for the sake of getting a deal.
So let's stop this. Let's stop it. Sit down, consider the Speaker's proposal.
But at this point, the GOP leadership doesn't have a proposal on the table. The president has been mostly watching from the sidelines, calling the GOP strategy a bad strategy. And senior administration officials say we are now at great risk of falling into that financial peril as we get closer to potential default. Brian?
Oh, running out of things to say and ways to describe it. Kelly O'Donnell from the Hill tonight starting us off. Thanks. We are seeing now the crisis in Washington play out on Wall Street. Stocks took a hit today. All three major indexes were down. And as we mentioned at the top of the broadcast, we're getting the first signs of serious concern In the credit ratings markets, the Fitch ratings agency has put the United States' current AAA rating on warning for a possible downgrade if, of course, this doesn't get resolved. To talk about that, with us here in the studio tonight, Andrew Ross Sorkin of CNBC and the New York Times. Andrew, the public is now aware they're playing with fire and they're playing with company money, our money. What happens if this happens?
If this happens, the 2008 financial crisis will look like child's play if we actually go into extra innings. If we default, or even if we really get close to the possibility of default, all of our costs are going to skyrocket. People are going to no longer believe that we are good for the money, which means that if someone's going to loan you $1 and they don't think you're going to pay back when you think they're going to get paid back, they're going to charge you more for that risk. And that's going to impact everything. It's going to impact how much money the country has. A 1 percentage point increase is a $120 billion cost annually. That's money that's no longer going to go towards goods and services for the taxpayers. It's going to go towards interest payments. Your mortgage payment will go up. That's what we're talking about here, and it will be global.
On that note, I guess we'll be checking back in with you tomorrow night. You think this is ninth inning?
I think we're in the ninth inning, and I'm hoping we don't go into extra innings, and I think it's possible that we don't.
All right. Andrew Ross Sorkin, CNBC, the New York Times. Thank you, as always. Because of these clashing extremes in Washington right now, it is easy to believe this same political divide exists in cities and towns and neighborhoods all across our country and might just define our country and our politics these days. But NBC News and Esquire magazine have partnered on a new survey of our current political landscape that suggests we are not exactly that. And in fact, according to the data, we are still a nation with a wide political center. In fact, our report on that tonight from our chief White House correspondent and political director, Chuck Todd.
Go to any neighborhood in the country and you'll find what we found in our new survey. Americans are a lot more pragmatic and nuanced in their political views than Washington politicians give them credit for.
You've been conditioned to look at American politics in 2D, blue and red, left and right. But that's not what you are. A new NBC News Esquire survey finds we all could use a pair of 3D glasses because there's a growing political center that doesn't comfortably fit into the forced political stereotypes of the past. In fact, a majority of the country, 51%, actually falls in the middle lane of American politics. The hard left lane is just 21%, and the hard right lane is only slightly bigger at 28%.
What's happening in Washington is there's polarization. That's not necessarily what's happening in the country.
The center is as diverse as the country and basically fall into 4 categories. The minivan moderates are in the suburbs. The pickup populists largely live in rural America. The MBA business-centric middle live on the coast, while the most cynical and sometimes apathetic group, dubbed the whatever man centrists, are largely under 40. Emily Robles in Miami, an international businesswoman, is a lot like the MBA middle.
I don't think I fit into a box.
She is with the 53% who favor gay marriage, but she's also part of the 57% who think it's time to end affirmative action.
You should get hired or you should get accepted into college on your merit and not on your heritage or the color of your skin.
Culturally, this is a live and let live group. For instance, 52% are okay with legalizing marijuana. But 79% believe government is spending too much money. Minivan moderate Jamie Naughton of Charlottesville, Virginia, a mother of 3, sums up the New American Center's attitude toward both major parties.
I've just come to expect that I don't fit. I don't fit in either party. So I've almost become comfortable in the middle.
You know, Brian, we asked a couple of major political consultants, David Axelrod for the Democrats, Mike Murphy for the Republicans, to analyze the data. Here's what Mike Murphy came away with. He said, you know what this center says? Dogma is out, pragmatism is in, and guess what? All of Congress should be listening to that. By the way, folks can take the quiz themselves, find out where they fall, NBCNightlyNews.com. Use the hashtag Where I Stand.
I love hearing these boxes that these pollsters insist on putting us in, however.
Oh, but we at least have more this time.
Yeah, that's true. Chuck Todd, thank you, as always.
Yeah.
One of those issues we just heard about was in the news today, specifically ending affirmative action. Today, the U.S. Supreme Court agreed to answer the question, can voters in any given state vote to ban the practice? Our justice correspondent, Pete Williams, with us tonight from outside the court. Pete, good evening.
Brian, good evening. The Supreme Court has ruled before that colleges can choose to use affirmative action. Now it seems prepared to rule that voters in a state have the power to ban it. Demonstrators outside the court urged it to uphold a ruling that struck down a constitutional amendment passed by Michigan voters in 2006, ending affirmative action in the state. Justice Sonia Sotomayor attacked it today, saying one of its sponsors claimed it would bring back segregation. She said it appears to have done just that. But Chief Justice John Roberts asked, why can't a state say to its colleges, do everything you can to have diversity without racial preferences? Judging from today's argument, the court seems headed for a ruling that would allow affirmative action bans in Michigan and 7 other states to stand. Brian?
Pete Williams at the court for us tonight. Pete, thanks. It was an emotional afternoon at the White House as a former Army captain became the 79th living recipient of the Medal of Honor, this nation's highest military honor. U.S. Army Captain William Swenson was honored for his heroism and his complete disregard for his own safety during one of the deadliest firefights in the war in Afghanistan. Some of it was captured on camera. President Obama said Swenson is an example of what Americans can be at their very best. We get our report tonight from our Pentagon correspondent, Jim Miklaszewski.
September 2009, a medevac helicopter on a casualty run at Ganjgal in eastern Afghanistan. Army Captain Will Swenson guides the chopper to a landing in one of the worst battles of the war.
That was a horrible day.
Swenson and his men walked into a deadly ambush.
If you tried to get up and move, you could expect to have bullets licking at your feet.
Swenson led his troops as they repeatedly plunged into the kill zone to rescue the wounded and search for the missing. 3 Marines and a Navy corpsman.
You can never allow a service member to be taken hostage, alive or dead. You bring them home. And that's what we did.
Swenson desperately radioed for help, but Army commanders refused to provide combat helicopters or reinforcements. An Army investigation later found those commanders were negligent, leading directly to the loss of life. The 4 missing Americans were later found dead.
You could very clearly see that they had been putting up one hell of a fight.
Swenson bitterly blames their deaths on tougher rules of engagement intended to protect Afghan civilians, not soldiers. But that day also saw a remarkable moment of compassion. A helmet cam captures Sergeant First Class Kenneth Westbrook being helped by Swenson to the medevac helicopter. In a flash, Swenson gives Westbrook a kiss.
You're in the middle of a war, and you kiss your fellow soldier. Why?
I wanted to make it clear to him, he'd done good. You're going home.
It sounds like you were surprised to see you do that.
Yes. But he was my soldier.
But you're glad you did it.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Westbrook died a month later. Discouraged, Swenson quit the Army 2 years ago, but he's now working to return to active duty and the Brotherhood of Soldiers. Jim Miklaszewski, NBC News, the Pentagon.
We also wanted to show you another photo of another heroic American service member that's getting a lot of circulation and comment on the web. It is a photo of Army Ranger Josh Hargis, wounded last week in the attack in Afghanistan that killed 4 members of his unit. He's being awarded the Purple Heart in the hospital in this photo, a ceremony his commander thought he was unconscious for until he started to raise his hand in a salute. He struggled to raise his arm with his doctors and his tubing, but he succeeded. The commander sent this picture along with a letter to Hargis's wife, Taylor, saying grown men wept in that room at this site, adding it was the most beautiful salute he had ever witnessed. Still ahead for us tonight, shock and sadness after the death of a 12-year-old girl. An outraged local sheriff issues a warning to parents across the country. And later, a coach who is making a difference on and off the field by making some extraordinary kids a part of the team.
We asked people, if you could get paid to do something you really love, what would you do?
I'd be a writer.
I'd be a baker.
I want to be a pie maker.
I want to be a pilot.
I'd be an architect.
What if I told you someone could pay you? And what if that person were you? When you think about it, isn't that what retirement should be? Paying ourselves to do what we love?
My mantra, trust your instincts to make the call. To treat my low testosterone, my doctor and I went with Axeron, the only underarm low T treatment.
Axeron can restore T levels to normal in about 2 weeks in most men. Axeron is not for use in women or anyone younger than 18 or men with prostate or breast cancer. Women, especially those who are or who may become pregnant, and children should avoid contact where Axeron is applied, as unexpected signs of puberty in children or changes in body hair or increased acne in women may occur. Report these symptoms to your doctor. Tell your doctor about all medical conditions and medications. Serious side effects could include increased risk of prostate cancer, worsening prostate symptoms, decreased sperm count, ankle, feet, or body swelling, enlarged or painful breasts, problems breathing while sleeping, and blood clots in the legs. Common side effects include skin redness or irritation where applied, increased red blood cell count, headache, diarrhea, vomiting, and increase in PSA. Ask your doctor about the only underarm low T treatment, Axeron.
We take away your stuffy nose. You keep the peace. We calm your congestion and pain. You rally the team.
You guys were awesome.
We give you relief from your cough. You give them a case of the giggles. Tylenol Cold helps relieve even your worst cold and flu symptoms so you can carry on with your day. But for everything we do, we know you do so much more. Tylenol Cold.
We are back tonight with a story that is intended as a wake-up call to all families with children, especially their parents. Tonight in Florida, a local sheriff is lashing out at 2 middle school girls who are accused in the latest case of cyberbullying in this country. This one ended in a suicide. The victim, a 12-year-old girl who simply reached her limit. Our report tonight from NBC's Riegel.
Florida police say 12-year-old couldn't take it anymore. After nearly a year of ugly online taunts and harassing messages, including drink bleach and die, last month Rebecca killed herself, jumping from the top of an abandoned cement plant.
We've lost sleep over that child dying needlessly. And we want to see things change.
Today, a stunning development.
We had these wonderful photographs of our 2 new felons.
Showing their faces, they're only 12 and 14 years old, charged as juveniles with felony aggravated stalking in connection with Rebecca's suicide.
She should be here. She should be here to see justice getting served.
Rebecca's mother says after both school and police officials failed to stop the bullying, she moved her daughter to another school. But Rebecca still had her cell phone, and the bullying continued.
With cyberbullying is that it is etched in stone, that people can access the history of it, can review it, can rewind it, can reread it, and it makes it much more painful for the child to actually, who is experiencing bullying.
Legal experts believe this is the first time a person as young as 12 has been charged in such a case, and that could pose a challenge for prosecutors.
This defendant is, by all intents and purposes, a child. This is someone who may not at this age understand the significance of that sort of cruelty.
Tonight, a father of 9 children, a stern warning to parents.
Watch what your children do online. Pay attention. Quit being their best friend and be their best parent. That's important.
Tonight, as the community tries to heal, the investigation into Rebecca Sedgwick's death continues. Rahima Ellis, NBC New York.
Back in a moment with more news. Also tonight's badly needed Making a Difference report.
The word is getting out. He may have leaked the whole database.
Oh my God.
Entertainment Weekly calls the Fitness State edgy and exciting.
You still want to tell me you think it's just a little website?
It's a first-rate thriller that moves like a freight train.
He's not a journalist. He's a threat to national security.
And Rolling Stone raves the Fitness State is potent and provocative. We need to crush these guys. It's as good as it gets.
If you want the truth, seek it out for yourself.
The Fitness State, rated R. In theaters everywhere Friday.
I have low testosterone. There, I said it. See, I knew testosterone could affect sex drive, but not energy or even my mood. That's when I talked with my doctor. He gave me some blood tests. Showed it was low T. That's it. It was a number.
Today, men with low T have Androgel 1.62% testosterone gel, the #1 prescribed topical testosterone replacement therapy. Increases testosterone when used daily. Women and children should avoid contact with application sites. Discontinue Androgel and call your doctor if you see unexpected signs of early puberty in a child or signs in a woman, which may include changes in body hair or a large increase in acne, possibly due to accidental exposure. Men with breast cancer or have or might have prostate cancer, and women who are or may become pregnant or are breastfeeding should not use Androgel. Serious side effects include worsening of an enlarged prostate, possible increased risk of prostate cancer, lower sperm count, swelling of ankles, feet, or body, enlarged or painful breasts, problems breathing during sleep, and blood clots in the legs. Tell your doctor about your medical conditions and medications, especially insulin, corticosteroids, or medicines to decrease blood clotting. In a clinical study, over 80% of treated men had their T levels restored to normal. Talk to your doctor about all your symptoms. Get the blood tests. Change your number. Turn it up. Androgel 1.62%.
I've got a big date. My sinuses are acting up. It's time for Advil Cold and Sinus.
Truth is, that won't relieve all your symptoms. New Alka-Seltzer Plus D relieves more sinus symptoms than any other behind-the-counter liquid gel.
Oh, what a relief it is.
Mine was earned orbiting the moon in 1971.
Afghanistan in 2009.
On the USS Saratoga in 1982.
Once it's earned, USAA Auto Insurance is often handed down from generation to generation because it offers a superior level of protection and because USAA's commitment to serve current and former military members and their families is without equal. Begin your legacy. Get an auto insurance quote. USAA. We know what it means to serve.
Politeness is nice. It's gracious. It's well-mannered. But no one ever said it was efficient. Four-way stop, you go, no, you go, no, you go, guy. You're one of us. And you deserve a local insurance company that doesn't hesitate to put you first. One recognized by J.D. Power for customer satisfaction. Pamco, we're a lot like you, a little proud.
You may not know his name, but he's the man to thank for all things gummy. He's the reason it's tougher to get our kids out of those candy stores that charge by the pound. Hans Riegel has died. He put the German candy maker Haribo on the map and introduced the world to the gummy bear. He built his dad's company out of the wreckage of the Second World War and grew it into a global success. Hans Riegel was 90 years old. A big move in the corporate world. Apple has hired away the CEO of Burberry. Angela Ahrendts is joining the company as a senior executive in charge of their product marketing and expansion plans and things like Apple stores. She has received widespread praise for the turnaround job she's done with the Burberry brand. She's a native of Indiana who came up through Liz Claiborne and Donna Karan. And based on what she did for Burberry, already the wags on the web are wondering if an iPlaid could be far behind. And big news in the TV business, especially if you're among the millions who regard these two women as contemporary giants in the world of comedy. Amy Poehler and Tina Fey have agreed to host the next two Golden Globe Awards. Both women started in the improv trenches. Both were stars at SNL, and they proved a killer combo the last time they hosted. Another attempt to end childhood as we know it. An elementary school in Nashua, New Hampshire has banned playing tag on the playground at recess. The principal put an end to it because there have been injuries. Several parents protested that it was too excessive. One of them said, quote, "Our kids should be wrapped in bubble wrap and sent to school." When we come back after a break, a special man who's making a difference because of what he teaches about winning and losing.
At Humana, understanding what makes you different is what makes us different. We take the time to get to know you and your unique health needs. Then we help create a personalized healthcare experience that works for you. And you. And you. With 50 years of know-how and a dedicated network of doctors, health coaches, and wellness experts, we're a partner you can rely on. Today and tomorrow, we're going beyond insurance to become your partner in health. Humana.
She's always been able to brighten your day. It's just her way. But your erectile dysfunction? That could be a question of blood flow. Cialis Tadalafil for daily use helps you be ready anytime the moment's right. You can be more confident in your ability to be ready. And the same Cialis is the only daily ED tablet approved to treat ED and symptoms of BPH, like needing to go frequently or urgently. Tell your doctor about all your medical conditions and medications and ask if your heart is healthy enough for sexual activity. Do not take Cialis if you take nitrates for chest pain, as this may cause an unsafe drop in blood pressure. Do not drink alcohol in excess with Cialis. Side effects may include headache, upset stomach, delayed backache, or muscle ache. To avoid long-term injury, seek immediate medical help for an erection lasting more than 4 hours. If you have any sudden decrease or loss in hearing or vision, or if you have any allergic reactions, such as rash, hives, swelling of the lips, tongue, or throat, or difficulty breathing or swallowing, stop taking Cialis and get medical help right away. Ask your doctor about Cialis for daily use and a 30-tablet free trial.
I'm Angela, and I didn't think I could quit smoking, but Chantix helped me do it. I told my doctor I think I'm ready.
Along with support, Chantix varenicline is proven to help people quit smoking. It reduces the urge to smoke.
I knew that I could smoke for the first 7 days. I knew that I wasn't putting nicotine back into my body to try to quit.
Some people had changes in behavior, thinking or mood, hostility, agitation, depressed mood, and suicidal thoughts or actions while taking or after stopping Chantix. If you notice any of these, stop Chantix and call your doctor right away. Tell your doctor about any history of mental health problems, which could get worse while taking Chantix. Don't take Chantix if you've had a serious allergic or skin reaction to it. If you develop these, stop Chantix and see your doctor right away, as some could be life-threatening. Tell your doctor if you have a history of heart or blood vessel problems, or if you develop new or worse symptoms. Get medical help right away if you have symptoms of a heart attack or stroke. Use caution when driving or operating machinery. Common side effects include nausea, trouble sleeping, and unusual dreams.
If I could describe being a non-smoker, I would say awesome.
Ask your doctor if Chantix is right for you.
Next, we'll update you on a deadly crash that has shut down Highway 43 just south of the Selwood Bridge. Plus, a witness police have been looking for in a domestic violence murder has been found.
I'm Matt Safino. A very warm day today, and there's more on the way with one subtle variation.
Finally tonight, and as promised, our Making a Difference report. It's about a high school athletic coach in Georgia with his own ideas about who should make the team. We get his story tonight from NBC's Gabe Gutierrez.
On this field, the highlight came before kickoff.
And my heart is distraught because, you know, we don't get the opportunity to see our children like everybody else does. Oh, God, I can't believe I'm crying.
To understand why these parents are crying and their kids are smiling, you need to meet Coach Scott Hamilton.
I want to know that I made an impact on people.
Coach Hamilton works at Paulding County High School near Atlanta.
There you go, Levi.
2 years ago, he decided to pick at least one player of the day for every home game, each of them with special needs.
What do you think this does for these kids? It just gives them a chance to be part of something they can't be normally.
This time, he surprised two, Austin Beal and Levi Bishop.
How much you like Coach over here?
Yeah, I like him because he's good to me and the players.
They get to wear a jersey to the pep rally, to the workout, to the pregame bus, just like the other players.
Trying to show these boys how to be men. You can be a tough guy and still have a compassionate side.
He's opened these players' eyes.
That's what I was going to say. Even more for our boys, it's for these kids.
Honestly, I don't even think Coach Hamilton realizes
What it does for them.
And us.
Because while Levi and Austin stand on the sidelines, they are now part of a team.
It's really a highlight of my day every day to watch them come out and run through the tunnel. When I die, I don't want to be on my tombstone. There's Scott Hamilton, the football coach. I wanted to say Scott Hamilton, a good man.
For this coach, the scoreboard isn't the only measure of victory. Gabe Gutierrez, NBC News, Dallas, Georgia.
And that's our broadcast on a Tuesday night. Thank you for being here with us. I'm Brian Williams, and we hope to see you right back here tomorrow evening. Good night.